What major victory has Southgate had against a top-class team, a top-tier team in a competitive game? Not one. Not one.
Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H.
England. What do you want? What do you want? Like, I think England, just as a whole, you need to decide what you want. Do you want to just be vibe merchants, do it the English way, or do you want to win? Do you want to win the Euros, or you just want to be vibe merchants? This is the reality here. It's not just about qualifying. And so, of course, England are going to qualify. Of course they are. It's pretty embarrassing that it took an 85th minute goal from Maguire to defeat a Poland side without Lewandowski. But you're going to qualify. But surely your main aim is not about worrying about qualification. It's about what are you going to do when you're actually in the tournament. And the issue with England is this, and I do feel that there are many people within the English setup, whether it's the FA or so forth, and even in the media, they would rather lose their way than win another way. Because let's keep it real, Southgate is trash. Southgate is a brick. That's why he's in the brick academy. He's been in the brick academy for a long time. He's a classy brick. Southgate has no interesting, forward-thinking ideas for what he wants to do with this England team. And from because I had to turn it off. I had to turn it off. It was garbage. Because from what the 10 or 12 minutes I saw of England against Poland, I was like, this is garbage. This is complete and utter crap. The football on display here is terrible. That's because there are no ideas in this team. And here's the thing. What will save Southgate are the individuals. It was Sterling who ran through and won that penalty for Harry Kane. You know what Sancho can do as an individual. You know what Rashford can do. You obviously know what Grealish can do. So he will be saved by the individuals. But I think the individuals can only take you so far. Because England, as they're currently built so forth under the tutelage of Southgate, if they face a Portugal, I don't know how they beat Portugal. I don't know how they beat France. I don't know how they beat Italy. I don't know how they beat Belgium. I don't know how, and possibly even if they face Croatia again, I don't even know how they probably beat Croatia if they face them again. And the reality is, this is a team that has, in my opinion, one of the most talented generations that they've had in a long time. In a long, long time, this is one of the most talented generations that they've had. And it's unfortunate that it's under the guidance and the guise of the break. Because there is a brand of football that these guys should be playing. There is a fluidity and a freedom that they should be playing with. But the dude in charge wasn't the dude managing Middlesbrough before? And here's the thing. It's all about being a vibe merchant. Southgate has all this goodwill based off what he did at the World Cup. You had a group of Panama. Panama is an island. An island. Can't remember the other team. Tunisia. And Belgium. You lost to Belgium. You faced Colombia without James Rodriguez. Only beat them via penalties. Sweden had nobody. Nobody. No Ibrahimovic. They had no star player. There's no Henrik Larsson, no Lundberg, no Ibrahimovic, nobody. They were just coming forward as a team. Okay? You beat them, which you should, because they had no star players. Then you faced Croatia, you lost. Then you faced Belgium in the third place playoff, you lost. So every real team you faced, you lost. So Southgate has proven nothing. What major victory has Southgate had against a top-class team? A top-tier team in a competitive game? Not one. Not one. Now, of course, there's more talent at display. There are more players at display that he has now. But going into the Euros, does anybody truly believe England will do anything? So that's why whenever I see the odds say that England are favorites to win the Euros, I'm like, man, people really, really believe this bullcrap that England puts out. Like, you've got to give the English media credit. The way in which they can bamboozle the international world to still believe that England are still this great mighty power and so forth, it's amazing. Because I live in England, I know the truth, and the truth of the matter is, England could be so much more. If you go onto the pitches, you go to parks, you go to all weather pitches, there's talent upon talent there. But these guys are going to stay stuck doing five-a-side or take up another sport or another vocation, because if they try to get into 11-a-side, the fun is taken away, the swag is taken away, the sauce is taken away. If you're a saucy, quality, dynamic football player, why would you want to play in this England team? You know? Because my thing is, it's all well good having Grealish and Sancho, but I don't know how Grealish and Sancho will be able to express themselves in this team. What's 2 DMs, back three, non-back three? What is your strategy moving forward? How are you forming triangles? Where is the creativity coming from? You know, so... And that's like, I don't get how they came up with England being the favourites. That's I don't get. I need an explanation there. And moving forward, you see, the right man for England is Harry Redknapp. It is, you know. And I was even talking to my boy here, man, Mr. Reef, man, and he just said, "Look, man, when you deal with international football, you have to understand what best suits you." And he was saying that, you know, these guys have to go back to 4-4-2. To one degree, I do agree that 4-4-2 does suit England, in a sense. But my thing is that as much as 4-4-2 culturally is what England is about, there is a whole new generation of players with very specific, interesting skills and abilities. Specifically, I'm looking at Sancho, Grealish, and Foden, where the right coach, the right manager who coaches them well, these guys can produce and come up with something interesting. Because you see, Foden playing under Pep is different when he now plays under Southgate. Sancho playing in Dortmund with Haaland, Witsel, Marco Reus, and so forth is very different when he now comes under the guys of Southgate. So, all because these players are playing amazing for their clubs doesn't mean that they'll play amazing for the national team. Look at Lampard for Chelsea. Superb. England, he bricked it. Gerrard for Liverpool, superb. Came to England, he bricked it. And for so many guys who were amazing for the clubs, came to England and they bricked it. So it's about having the right coach and the right manager. And I think Redknapp is right, because Redknapp understands on a very fundamental, pure level football and what it means to appreciate a pure football player and pure footballing talent, and what it means to play good football. That's the key thing. Redknapp understands what it means to play good football. When you look at his West Ham sides, Portsmouth sides, Tottenham sides, there was a way in which they played that was good for football. Which Southgate side have you ever seen that plays good football? Please tell me. England didn't play good football at all at that World Cup. There was not one match where you were like, man, England, they look impressive. Okay, yeah, they just beat Panama. They just beat Sweden, you know, but they didn't like outplay them. They didn't have like an amazing 5-star performance. So Southgate has the job because of the vibe merchants that exist in English media, because he's a media darling and he plays towards and he plays the media game. So the media love him because the media are vibe merchants. You know, because they want to tell a narrative of the guy who missed the penalty in Euro 96 and right now is imagine now leading England to success. You know, and I think England's issue has always been you don't want to embrace change. And the English have an issue with being very stubborn. Very, very stubborn indeed. And not wanting to move forth, not wanting to advance, not wanting to really take things to the next level. You know, so all in all, man, I don't see how England make any impact whatsoever at the Euros. They may be lucky. You never know what can happen. Anything can happen. But from what I've seen of England, but specifically Southgate. If Southgate meets a Mancini, a Santos, a Deschamps, a Martinez, dare I say even a Yogi Love, where, especially if it's a knockouts game, now comes to management and tactics and in-game tweaking and alterations, who do you think is going to come on top? Become a Patreon member. Gain access to my blog, get access to exclusive videos, and also get access to the podcast of the Saturday and the Sunday hangouts. Head over to patreon.com/halfwop to gain all these goodies while also supporting your boy HH.